The rain came down like the sky had finally given up on the world. Streetlights blurred through the storm, their golden glow shaking in puddles across the empty road. Cars rushed past, tires hissing through the water, drivers eager to get home and escape the cold night. And in the middle of that lonely street, beneath the relentless rain, a pregnant woman stumbled forward before her body finally gave out. Her knees hit the pavement, her hands clutching her stomach as pain surged through her. Within seconds, she collapsed completely, her white dress soaked, her breathing shallow, her strength fading with every drop of rain. Most people would drive past. Most people would pretend they didn't see. But that night, one car slowed down. If you believe kindness can change a life, take a moment right now to like the video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Inside the old sedan sat Daniel Harper, a 34-year-old single father who had just finished a 12-hour shift at the warehouse. His hands were rough from years of hard work, his eyes heavy with exhaustion. Life had not been kind to him. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife in a tragic accident, leaving him alone to raise their young son, Ethan. Since then, every day had been a battle between grief, responsibility, and survival. Daniel almost didn't stop. He had bills piling up, a tired child waiting at home, and a body that desperately wanted sleep. But something about the sight ahead made his foot press the brake. A shape in the rain. A person on the ground. He pulled over. For a moment he just stared through the windshield as the rain hammered the glass. Then instinct took over. He rushed out into the storm. Up close, the situation looked even worse. The woman was clearly pregnant, her face pale, her breathing uneven. Rainwater ran down her hair and across her trembling hands as she clutched her stomach. Daniel felt his heart pound. Memories flashed through his mind, hospital lights, doctors rushing, the night his own wife never came home. The helplessness of that night still lived inside him like a scar. He refused to watch it happen again. Without hesitation, Daniel carefully lifted the woman into his arms. She was weak and barely conscious, her body shaking from pain and cold. Rain soaked through Daniel's jacket as he carried her toward the car. In the back seat, little Ethan watched with wide eyes. The 6-year-old boy had been half asleep, wrapped in a blanket, but the sudden movement had woken him. When he saw his father carrying the injured woman, his small face filled with concern rather than confusion. Daniel gently placed the woman in the back seat and covered her with the blanket. Ethan quietly held the edge of it, helping keep her warm. The drive to the hospital felt longer than it actually was. The storm had worsened, turning the roads into rivers of water and headlights. Daniel's grip on the steering wheel tightened as he pushed the car faster. Every minute mattered. Every breath she took sounded fragile. Finally, the glowing sign of the hospital appeared through the rain. Daniel pulled up to the emergency entrance and rushed inside for help. Within moments, nurses and doctors surrounded the woman, wheeling her into the emergency room. Then came silence. Daniel stood there in the hallway, soaked and breathing hard, unsure if he had arrived in time. Ethan tugged lightly on his father's sleeve and looked up at him. Daniel knelt down and hugged his son tightly. Sometimes the world felt unbearably heavy, but moments like this reminded him why he kept going. Hours passed slowly in the waiting room. Daniel considered leaving. After all, he didn't know the woman. He had already done his part. But something inside him kept him there. Finally, a doctor approached. The news was unexpected. The woman had gone into early labor, but thanks to how quickly she was brought in, both she and the baby were safe. The doctor explained that just a little more time in the rain could have led to tragedy. Daniel felt his shoulders relax for the first time that night. A life had been saved. Actually, two. The woman regained consciousness later that night. Her name was Emily Carter, and she had been walking home from work when the sudden pain struck. Alone and terrified, she had tried to reach help before collapsing. When she learned what Daniel had done, tears filled her eyes. Not just because he stopped, but because he stayed. In a world where people often turned away, one exhausted single father had chosen compassion over convenience. Weeks passed, and life slowly returned to normal. Until one afternoon when Daniel received a call from the hospital. Emily had given birth to a healthy baby girl. And she wanted the man who saved them both to meet her. Daniel and Ethan visited the hospital together. When Emily placed the tiny baby into Daniel's arms, something remarkable happened. The baby's tiny fingers wrapped around his thumb as if she already trusted him. Emily smiled softly and revealed something Daniel never expected. She had named her daughter Hope. Because that night, in the middle of a storm, a stranger had reminded her that hope still existed in the world. Before we reach the end of this story, I want to ask something special. In the comments, write the word hope if you believe one small act of kindness can change someone's entire life. As Daniel walked out of the hospital with Ethan beside him, the rain had finally stopped. The sky was clear, the air fresh, and sunlight pushed through the clouds. Sometimes heroes don't wear uniforms. Sometimes they're just tired fathers driving home after a long day. But on one rainy night, when everyone else kept driving, Daniel Harper chose to stop. And that single moment changed 3 lives forever. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe for more stories that remind us the world still has good people in it. Because sometimes, the greatest miracles begin with something very simple. A stranger who decides to care. Red Heart.